Hello, my friend, and welcome to today's yoga practice. The name of today's class is called Slow Before Fast. And I'm very excited about this class because we're getting into one of my favorite mottos that I've discovered in my practice over the last couple of years. And that is the concept that if I can't do something slowly, I haven't earned the right to do it quickly. And that's kind of a sister concept to if I can't do something small, I haven't earned the right to do it big. So one of my favorite things to practice, I hope you'll get a lot out of this. And as we usually do, let's go ahead and get started on our backs. So take all the time in the world to come on down. And the first 30 to 60 seconds down here is just your time to breathe and move on your own. Set your nervous system up to practice well. So you want to, during this time, flush your body with attention, like light filling a room. So you're leaving nothing out, but also nothing's too forward. Then you're seeing if you can breathe in and out through your nose. Your nose is for breathing, your mouth is for eating. And seeing if you can't breathe a little bit lower in your body. So less in your chest, more in your low belly, less just on one side and more all the way around 360 degrees around the trunk. So you're always reminded that you are a three-dimensional being. So let's go ahead and ground our feet wherever it's comfortable for the feet and the knees. And pressing down through the feet, lift the hips off the floor a couple of inches for a low bridge pose. Using the glutes here, we can start tapping the hips up and down at a pretty slow pace, let's say. Slow enough that you can pay attention to your low back and what's happening there. You want your low back to feel pretty stable, so it's not moving a whole lot. Instead, what's moving a lot is the hip crease right in here. As you go down, the hip crease deepens. As you go up, the hip crease gets a little bit more flat. And you're using your butt muscles to do that. So lift your hips here. We're going to see if we can slowly let go of the right bottom so that the right side of the pelvis kind of sags, let's say, down towards the ground. Then ramp up that contraction to lift the right side of the pelvis. Release the left glute, so the left side goes down. Build up the contraction there, so the pelvis goes back up. We're going to slowly rock back and forth and really get the brain synced up with the contraction. So it's actually a skill how we contract our muscles. So seeing there, if you can let it be a little bit slow. And as you start to feel more comfortable with it, you can start to pick up the pace just a little bit, but let the speed be very gradual. And so you still want to let like the softening and then the building happen gradually and incrementally. Okay, see if you can hold it up here, doing a lot for the glutes right to begin with. And then from here, we're going to lift the heels up and slowly take them down. Lift the heels up, slowly take them down. And so you'll feel when you slowly take the heels down, like the calves might shake a little bit. And that's because we're using them as a braking system where gravity just wants to take the heels down really quickly. But you're saying, no, gravity, I actually want my muscles to do some of this work. And so that's actually some of the benefit of moving more slowly, is that you cultivate more strength than maybe if you were to go a little bit more quickly right out of the gate. All right, so heels down. See if you can still hold up. You can always take a break. Keep your ribs down, taking the arms up, and then squeezing in at the fists, and then flicking out at the hands. Squeezing in at the wrists, flicking out. We're gonna just start doing this kind of like, let's say 2 flicks per second. So not a terribly quick pace here. But as your hands start to adjust to this, you can start to pick up the pace. And as you do that, they have to resist gravity to do this. So your speed is actually being generated just by your strength here in this example. And so as you start to pick up the pace, you'll start to feel more happening in your forearms. And that's really good. Okay. Starting to feel them nice and pumped. Do you feel that yet? I definitely do. And then from here, release and relax everything down to the ground. Maybe a couple windshield wipers there. The brain did such a good job turning on this booty. It'll be a little bit more automatic for us throughout practice. So that's awesome. All right. Let's see if we can take the knees up over the pelvis. See how that feels for you. Interlock the hands behind the head here. If you have a yoga block at home and you wanted to squeeze it in between your legs, you could do that just for this first one. And from here, use your abdomen to lift your chest up off the ground. So really relax your head into your hands. You can even kind of shake it out there a little bit. Really getting the effort here into the abdomen to lift the chest. Breathe nice and steadily. Face nice and soft. Come on down. Okay. See how your legs feel here. You can see if you can play the edge to straight. And if you have a block between them, let's remove the block because we'll do different things with the legs here. So legs up over the pelvis, sacrum on the ground, lift up off the shoulder blades, head nice and soft into the hands here. So slowly rooting the left leg into the socket as you slowly lengthen the right heel forward any amount, keeping the core drawing down. Slowly lift the right leg back up and release. So making sure when you lift off that you're not using your neck too much. Set your legs. Come on, up off the shoulder blades. Use your abdomen. Okay. Keep your right leg where it is. Slowly lengthen the left leg forward any amount. Slowly bring the left leg back up and release. So keep breathing throughout. The belly's really gonna kind of get gut-wrenchingly turned on, and that's the good stuff. That's what we want. So come on up. Head nice and soft into the hands here. Keeping the left leg where it is, slowly taking the right leg down. From here, lifting up, turning an inch over to the left, using your side waist muscles, not your neck, not your shoulders. Come back through center, take the leg up, and come on down. Set the legs, come on up off the shoulder blades, head nice and soft into the hands. Beginning to lengthen the left leg forward any amount. Lift up, turn an inch over to the right, get up off the right shoulder blade, but head nice and soft. Come back through center, lift the left leg, and release. Okay, we got one more on each side, and here's where we're gonna give ourselves a little essence of speed if we want it. So legs up, here we go, up off the shoulder blades, head nice and soft. Left leg stays, right leg down, right leg up, stay up if you can, left leg down, right leg up. We'll just start trading places with the legs. And so go slowly enough that you don't feel any of your pelvis or your ribs do any adjusting. Okay, and meet with right leg down, left leg up, lift up, turn an inch over to the left, come back through center, and release. Okay, last time, here we go. Set your legs. Come on up off the shoulder blades, head nice and soft into the hands there. Taking this time the left leg down first, then the right leg. Going back and forth. So don't let speed be your excuse to get something over with. Okay. Left leg down, right leg up, lift up, and twist an inch over to the right. Come back through center and release. We're done. Keep breathing in and out through your nose, nice and low into the body. Come on up to a seat. And anything that you like to do that's comfortable for you here. So if you want to stretch forward and forward fold a bit there, you can. If you want to lean back, you can do that. Okay. One more area to reset in a similar way, that's the upper body. So we're gonna move back on the mat. Come forward so that the elbows are on the floor, narrow, hands wide or clasped, that's up to you. Relax the head here, lift up off the knees for dolphin. Maybe stepping the feet even just a little bit wider, really lifting the ribs into the shoulder blades here. So really relax through the head here. And here's where we're going to get the principle of small before big. So keep the whole front body peeling into the back body, hover the left foot up off the ground, see if you can move it forward and tap it to the floor like a couple inches forward. Hover it, tap it back, lift the right foot, hover, tap it forward. You can bend the knee to make that happen. So we're just gonna do these little kind of steps, hover and taps. Meanwhile, getting the front body to pull into the back body there. So you're practicing core integration and moving from the hip. Do the last one. Tap the knees down. Come on up to the hands. Grip the floor with your fingers and let that activate your arms up into the shoulders. From here, lifting the knees, tabletop hover, shifting the pelvis up and back, downward facing. Legs do not need to be straight here. Get nice and active through the arms. So the arms are trying to lift you forward towards a plank pose. If your down dog doesn't feel so great, definitely try out my practice called What Drives Me. We do a lot of really cool down dog stuff in that practice. Push off the hands, walk all the way back to the feet. Weight the feet, bend the knees, slowly come all the way on up. When you come all the way up, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky. Settling the hands down. So let's keep going here. And very nice and slow. Even if you're going slower than me, just go with it because that's perfecto. Taking the arms all the way out and up. And then from here, hands down to the pelvis. We're gonna press, soften a little bend into the knee. See if you can push your feet down. And imagine like the feet are pulling back like this on the mat, but they're not really moving. I mean, you could do this a couple of times just to see, but when you get the feet down and imagine that they're both pulling back, it turns on the hamstrings, it turns on the back chain of the body. And that's what we want. That's actually gonna be our braking system as we hinge forward at the pelvis, not moving the spine. And then when your pelvis stops you, forward fold over the legs. Let's go ahead and walk ourselves back forward to downward facing dog. Gripping the floor with the hands, drawing all of that into the shoulders. From here, shift your position forward to high plank, top of a push-up. Tap the knees down. So lift your ribs up into your shoulder blades here. And now we're gonna move slowly and small as we bend the elbows any amount and push to come back up. And so stay within a range that you can control and move slowly within because you get good at what you practice. So if you practice your push-ups where everything's flopping around, that's what you get good at. You get good at a floppy, sloppy push-up. So start slow, start small, and then let that naturally build up over time. Let's come all the way down to the belly, releasing through the tops of the feet. Prop yourself up to the forearms, elbows underneath the shoulders. Peel the front body into the back body. So here we are, we're in Sphinx. As we feel ready, we're gonna tuck the chin, pull the heart up into the shoulders, ribs up, navel up, pelvis off the ground, and then nice and slowly return ourselves back to that first position. Moving again from the head to the heart, to the ribs, the navel, the pelvis, coming all the way back down. One more time. Chin, heart, ribs, navel. Option, tuck the toes, lift the knees, push back through the heels, reach forward with the shoulders. Take the knees down nice and slowly. Come up to the hands, tabletop position. So setting the spine, lifting it up into the shoulder blades here. We can stretch back with the left foot on the ground there. And without tipping the pelvis or the ribs, you contain the front body, lifting the left foot off the ground. Option, reach the right arm up into cactus. From here, we're gonna do tiny little pulses. So small movements, slow movements, where we're trying not to move the bones of the torso, just moving the hip and shoulder. As we feel ready, everything back down. Okay, here we go. Hover the knees up off the ground, grip the floor. Send the pelvis up and back, downward facing, nice and slow. Slowly, shoulders forward, bend the knees, knees down to table. Hover the knees, shift the pelvis up and back, down dog. One more time. Bend the knees, shift the shoulders forward. Lift the knees, shift up and back. Easy does it as we push off the hands to walk all the way back to the feet there, weighting the feet at the back of the mat, head nice and soft. Ground down through the feet, slowly coming all the way up to stand, reaching the arms wide and high. Hands down at the pelvis. Soft bend into the knees. Turn on the back chain of the body by feet down and scooping back. And then hinging forward, seeing if we can go nice and slowly so that the back chain stays on. As we feel ready, releasing forward over the legs, relax the head. Walking ourselves all the way forward to downward facing dog. And then shifting forward to plank. Okay, tapping the knees down, still lifting up into the shoulder blades. Choose a range where you can go slowly as you bend the elbows. Chest stays open, coming back up. So you're keeping your spine moving as one unit. Last one, coming all the way down. Releasing through the tops of the feet, elbows down underneath the shoulders, coming up to Sphinx. Front body peels into the back body. Tucking the chin, heart up, ribs up, navel up, pelvis up. Slowly unfurling forward. Chin in, heart up, ribs up, navel, pelvis. Slowly coming forward. Last one. Tucking the toes, lifting the knees off the ground, pushing back through the heels, forward with the shoulders. Taking the knees down slowly, one at a time. Up to the hands, table. Keep the breath steady, in and out through the nose here, my friend. And then from here, stepping the right foot back, level the pelvis, and we're keeping everything contained on the front body as we lift the right foot off the ground. So go small to make sure that everything stays contained. Option, left arm goes to cactus, little pulses. Small and slow enough that you can maintain integrity through the center body. As we feel ready, hand down, knee down. Here we go, recenter yourself, hover the knees, shift the pelvis up and back, downward facing. Shift the shoulders, bend the knees, come back down table. Shift the knees up and back, down dog, and forward table. Last one. Good. From here, pushing off the hands, walking back to the feet. Head nice and soft, bend the knees. Slowly in your own time, come all the way up to stand. Here we go, reaching the arms all the way on up. Hands down. Here we go, reaching the arms all the way up. Coming all the way over the legs, nice and slowly, hinging at the hips. Releasing. Walking ourselves all the way forward there, downward facing. Let's pause in downward facing dog here. It's similar to what we did in our dolphin. We'll hover the right foot, step it forward, take it back. Hover the left foot, step it forward, take it back. Try not to move anything in the torso. We'll just do it a couple of times, marching this out. So this is a smaller movement pattern that will build on into a bigger movement pattern, but we're starting small and slow just to put the pattern in, to see and feel what it is that's going on in our body when we do this. So keep the neck relaxed. And then the next time you step one foot forward, this is the beginning of our walk up to the top. So we're seeing if we could shift the shoulders, step the other foot in front, keeping the body pulled into the spine as we continue our progress all the way up. Now, if you lose your mobility at some point and you get stuck here, lift your hands, weight your feet, and slowly continue the progression all the way up to the front. Okay? Here we go. Bend into the knees, slowly come all the way up. Press down through the feet, reach up through the arms. Here we go. Soft bend in the knees, press your feet down, kind of kick them back a little bit as you hinge forward. So getting a sense of the back chain on. From here, waterfall, hands down. We're going to move the feet back one at a time to plank. Now you decide here how much strength you have built up, knees up or down, but lower slowly with your strength all the way to the floor. Coming all the way down, release the tops of the feet, pubis bone down into the floor, front ribs lifting into the back ribs, and hover the hands under the elbows so the shoulders are lifted. Slowly push back at the elbow joint, bend the elbows, hover the hands. So doing this a couple of times, exposing the shoulders to this extended position, which they probably don't do that much of because we spend a lot of day with our arms in front of our torso. So having set that up nice and well, set your hands where you like, under your armpits or wide off the mat. You can tent the fingers and scoop in at the fingers rather than letting them splat out. Press down, pubis bone down, front body ripples into the back body to curl up any amount, flowing cobra. Up and down at your own pace. So really check in with yourself for speed here, because I find that if I can't do something slowly and I can only do it quickly, what that means is I'm utilizing more passive forces like momentum or leverage even to create my movements. And when I slow it down, now I know that it's my strength that's in control of it. And when I'm strong within a given range, my nervous system responds to that by feeling a lot safer. And it will likely let me use those ranges. Like it's a more usable range of motion than a range that we create with gravity or leverage. So hands underneath the armpits, roll the shoulders up, contain the front body as we push up to the knees. Tuck the toes, shift up and back, down dog. Okay? So we start here again with the steps. Right foot, left foot, back and forth. If you feel like you're ready to move on from this, left foot will stay down, we'll just work with the right foot. We'll actually lift it up and down like a hammer a few times. Just again, trying to work from the hip, not from the back. Not having any variations in the trunk. And if you're ready to build on into a bigger movement pattern, lift the leg. This time bend it into the chest. Shift the weight forward, shoulders over wrist. Shift back, push back through the heel. Bend the knee in. Shift forward, shoulders over wrists. Last time, back, heel back. Forward, shoulders over wrists. Take the right foot down wherever it goes, so it's in front of the left foot, and see if you can roll on up. So you're in a balanced lunge here, and the distance between your feet is not so much. They're actually close enough that you can bend the back knee. If your balance is okay, you can get on the toe with the back foot, and then getting your pelvis in, your torso nice and upright over here. So here we go. Taking the arms into a variation that feels good for you. Press down, straighten the legs. We're trying to keep the pelvis upright the whole time. Coming back down into the lunge, both knees bend, push down, nice and strong, straighten up. Doing that a couple more times. Okay, after this last one, just to make it a little bit more simple, we'll take the hands down to the pelvis. We'll turn open to the left, so all 10 toes face the left side. Use your glutes to press your pelvis forward. And then from here, bend into the left knee, flex the hips, and come into a side lunge. Going up and down a few times here, but trying to control the speed so you're not just going super quickly. So kind of pumping in that left leg and hip. As we feel ready, coming back to face the front, We're back into the high lunge. Here we are with the pelvis in. I always use my hands on front to map these bones because I'm one of those loosey-goosey floppy bodies. So I like to have as much mapping here. We're gonna see, containing all of this, press down through the front foot, lift the left knee up in front of the body. So we're building on to some of these bigger movement patterns. And if you don't feel ready for it, just do the part of the movement cycle that you feel ready for. We're gonna take the left foot back, coming back to our lunge. Here we are, then we're gonna turn open, pivot on the feet, bend into the left knee, come to side lunge. Come back to the front, back to our lunge, bend both knees, press down through the feet, straighten the legs, and then see if you can stand on the front leg, lift the back knee up. Sending the left leg back, here we go. Turning open to the side, side lunge. Coming back to face the front, come back to your lunge. We're gonna go down, press through the legs, get strong, come up. Press down through the front leg, left leg up. Here we go. Left leg back. We'll do this a couple more times. And then we're gonna turn open, side lunge. So hopefully we know the drill enough that you feel good kind of going on your own. We do have one more position we can add in here, and that's when you lift the leg. See if you can hinge forward over the front leg, come to a warrior three, and then let your warrior three leg land you back into your lunge. Turn open, side lunge. Come back to the front, lunge, bend the knees, straighten the legs, press down, lift up, warrior three. Taking that foot back, this is our last time here. Lunge, turning open, side lunge, coming back to the front, keep breathing through your nose, here we go. Press down, lift up, warrior three. Here, ground your hands, step your left foot back, take your right leg up to one-legged dog. You can put your left knee on the ground if you'd rather do this in table. And here we're gonna bend the knee into the chest. We're gonna make it start to slowly move the right knee around in some hip circles. So just pick one direction to begin with and go super slowly here. So you're trying to unglue the thigh bone from the pelvis. And if you feel like your pelvis is moving with you, pick a smaller movement pattern to begin with so your brain starts to understand the request. Go in both directions. And then you have the option to take your right foot on the ground by your left or extend your right leg back. Whichever one you choose, we'll push off the hands, walking back to the feet. If your right leg is lifted, you're in a standing L shape. We're gonna bend the standing legs and round all the way up to stand, pulling the right knee in if your right leg's lifted. We'll go ahead and slowly extend the leg out, take the foot down, come back to nice rhythmic breathing in and out through the nose. Set your feet however you like it for chair pose. We'll come on down to chair. In chair, we want the low back to be in a neutral position. That's like a baby back bend, let's call it. Ribs pulled in over the pelvis. We'll start to pulse a little bit. So again, here's the smaller movement pattern. And the pulsing is telling you like, can I move my legs, but keep my torso nice and stable? Because then I know I'm strengthening my legs. I'm making my legs a really strong base of support for my spine. And I'm making my spine feel like it has more stability. It has more friends around it who are really strong and capable. So you can keep pulsing like this, or what we'll do is we'll come down into chair, arms up, and then we'll pop up and come back down. So only choose the larger movement pattern and the faster movement pattern once you start to feel pretty good with the smaller movement pattern. Okay, come all the way up to stand. Keep breathing through your nose. Okay? We'll just come back to our hip hinges. So legs on the floor, sitting back into the glutes, coming down, coming back up, coming down, coming back up. You can keep working like this. If you're ready for a little bit more, see if you can hover the right foot off the ground, but keep the pelvis pretty level, okay? With the right leg hovered, hip hinging, and it's gonna load that left leg a lot more. And the floor is right there if you need to touch down. The next time you come up, step the right foot forward. Step onto it, see if you can hover the left foot right by the side, and then hinging forward, single leg, hip hinge. So in the hip hinge, that's exactly what it is. You're trying to not move the rest of your spine. Walk the left foot forward, right leg up, okay? So here's where we can take this smaller movement pattern and make it a little bit bigger if you like. So if you like, when you're going down, take that right leg back with you. So it's back into like a baby warrior 3, coming back up. So now that whole right side of the body is hinging over the left leg. Go nice and slowly as you can manage it with the balance. If your balance is really off, go to the kitchen, find your counter or a dresser by your side and put your hand there so that you don't have to contend with that as much. And you can feel yourself do the principle of our movement today, slow before fast. Okay? So walking the right foot forward. Let's start again with just the leg hovering and coming forward into the hip hinge and coming back up. Trying to move the spine as one piece, because when the spine moves as one piece, we're activating different muscle groups in the leg. Now you can let the left leg go with you into, we're calling it like a baby warrior 3, up and down a few times. And really feel free to go if things are feeling confusing or you can't really assess what's going on in your body. That's your body asking you to go a little bit more slowly so that you can gain the skill, and then the speed will be a natural component. You'll feel when you can start to go faster in something. Okay, let's walk ourselves all the way up to the top of the mat. Feel your strong legs and feet underneath you. Breathe through your nose. Here we go. We'll reach ourselves all the way out and up. Hinge forward at the hips. That's a familiar place. Shoulders over the wrists, stepping the feet back one at a time. What are you ready for? Knees up or knees down? And then from here, slowly lower with your strength all the way down. Relax your feet. From here, hands wherever is comfortable. Press your pubis bone down into the floor. And then lift your right foot and knee, but keep your pubis bone pushing down. Take your right leg down, lift your left foot and knee with the pubis bone pressing down. Continue like that. So go nice and slow here so you can feel that distinction. We're trying to get our hips to extend, and the hips will only extend if we keep the pubis bone, that's the lowest bone on the pelvis before it turns under. We need that bone to be pressing down. And we need our legs to be moving away up towards the ceiling. So only start to go faster here and go pick up the pace gradually. So start to have that be part of your value system here. It's like when I'm ready to speed up, I'm not going 0 to 60 all in 1 second. I'm taking my time and I'm watching myself along that trajectory, keeping everything, all of the integrity, as I start to pick up the pace of the swimmers. If you want to add in some arms, maybe some cactus arms, add a little bit more complexity, Chin stays tucked into the throat. As you feel ready, hands underneath the shoulders. Compact the front body, push up to the knees. Tuck the toes. Shift the pelvis up and back, down dog. From here, again, we're going to start tapping the feet forward one at a time, keeping the chin tucked, keeping the front body pulling into the back body, moving at the hip, not the low back. Option to keep doing that, or left foot lifts up and down. You can do the little hammer move. If that's too much, do it with a bent knee. Okay, if you're ready for more, left knee up, bend the knee into the abdomen, not moving the spine, then shift forward, shoulders over the wrists. Pressing ourselves all the way up, left leg up, knee in, shifting forward, armpits over the wrists. Last time, left leg up, bend the knee, shifting ourselves forward. Take the foot down wherever you can manage it, and then slowly unweight the hands and come up. Find yourself in a lunge. Again, it's not the longest lunge you've ever done, so that you can get your pelvis upright and everything on the front body pulled into the spine rather than pushing forward like this. All right, so getting up onto the back toes. Here we go. If you like your arms up, go up. Push down through both feet to straighten the legs. The pelvis stays in the same position. Coming down, coming back up. Going nice and slowly, so you're recruiting all of the muscles of the legs here, and you're really patterning this first part of the flow. Okay, so all the way up. For now, let's take the hands down, and you can change this later. I'm again gonna take them to map the front body. So I want all of this to stay nice and contained as I turn open, right toes face the long side of the mat. Here we go, we're gonna come into the right leg, pelvis back, but again, nothing changes in between the hands. We can pulse a little bit here into that leg. And I'm using the muscles of the leg to kind of pump, and I'm trying to get it to be slower rather than faster so that I can really cultivate all of that contraction. Okay, so side lunge, pivot on the feet, come forward, come back to your regular lunge. You can bend one or both knees, press, stand all the way up, unweight the back foot, pull it up in front of the body, and here we go. Repeating, stepping that right leg back, coming to a lunge, opening ourselves open to the right, side lunge. Turning ourselves back forward, back to the lunge. If you're going slower, or even if you're ready to go a little bit faster than me, just go on your own, right knee up. Taking ourselves back. And when we repeat something, it's a really great opportunity to practice actually going more slowly the more we repeat, to really get our attention to move in and to sink in. So we're checking in, we're not checking out. And I think that can happen a lot with repetition is we check out rather than checking in. Versus repetition should really be this beautiful time where we get to refine what it is that we're trying to do. Clean joint movements. Okay, and if you're ready for your warrior 3, after the right leg comes up, hinging forward, pressing back through the right foot down, coming back into the lunge, back into the side lunge, and so on. So let's do one more round wherever it is that you are. And then this next time when the leg comes up, we're gonna hinge forward. If you're warrior 3, you're warrior 3. We're gonna step the right foot back, hands down, left leg up to one-legged dog. Bend the knee. We're gonna move the hip slowly through some hip circles, aiming to not move the pelvis or the spine, the standing leg, none of that moves. And again, if you find it is moving, take smaller movement patterns. Take a couple in both directions, so change direction if you haven't already. And then you can take left foot by the right foot or press your left foot back. Walk yourself back to your standing leg. Okay, if your leg is lifted, you're in standing L shape. Bend the standing leg, unweight the hands, round yourself all the way up. Left knee up in front of the body. Here we go, pressing forward, taking that foot down. We'll come back into our chair pose. So here we are in the chair, and we get the little pulse, right? Okay, from the little pulse, you decide if you're ready to add some arms. The arms can be in any angle from the body. And from here, if you feel like the legs got you and that your torso feels pretty stable, we're gonna practice putting some speed, some momentum in here, seeing what happens. Press down, hop up. Press down, hop up. You can even pulse in between the hops. Okay. Coming all the way up to stand. Keep breathing through your nose. Root down through the feet. Reach all the way up through the arms. Hinge forward at the legs. We're going to walk ourselves all the way forward to plank pose. In our plank pose, we're going to tap the knees down, lift the ribs into the shoulder blades, add one push-up. Down and up. Lift the knees, send the pelvis up and back, down dog. Tapping the feet forward one at a time, so our little steps, keeping the chin tucked, moving from the hips, not from the spine. Option to just work the right leg, taking the right leg up, knee in, shift forward, press back, knee in, shift forward. Without making this too much of a cardio, let's say, you can start to pick up the pace of that movement. But again, be careful that you're not picking up the pace to get something over with faster or to do less work. Sometimes going faster is actually us doing less work. Okay? Pressing the right leg back. Option, foot up or down. As we push off the hands, we walk back to the standing foot or feet. Okay? We're going to stand all the way up. You can bring the right leg up with you if you want. Otherwise, just stand up with both feet down. Taking the foot down all the way to the ground. Coming back to chair pose here. A couple of little bounces. Getting ourselves nice and stable through the center. And then from here, rooting down, adding a couple of hops. So going slow helps us pay attention. So when we start to add the fast bits, we can still feel what's going on. Okay, reach the arms all the way up. Nice and slowly tipping forward over the pelvis. Walking ourselves all the way forward. Plank. Everything lifts up into the shoulders. Tapping the knees down. Still lifting into the shoulder blades. Add a push-up. Okay, once you come up, lift the knees. Shift the pelvis up and back, down dog. Do our little walks again. Left foot, right foot. You can keep moving like this, or you can lift the left leg up, bend the knee, shift forward, shoulders over the wrists. A couple times. And again, as that movement pattern becomes more clean, more refined, that's when you add the speed. If you're not sure that you're moving your hip and not your spine, if you can't feel that yet, stay with the slow, because the slow is really good. Okay, option left leg up or left leg down, right? Your choice. Pushing off the hands, walking back to the foot or feet. Slowly coming all the way up. You can bring the left leg with you if you like. Taking it all the way out and down. Last time, here we go. Chair pose. Add some arms. Stay with the pulses, or let's say 5 hops. Pushing off the big toe. Okay, here we go. All the way up. And then moving from the pelvis, hinging forward. Strong legs, even though you're tired. If you're tired. Walking ourselves all the way forward to table. So here we are. Tabletop position. Feel your heartbeat. Face nice and soft, breathing soft. Keep everything stable as you peel the right hand behind the head. Chin tucked into the throat, the head lifting into the hands. Turn from your side waist muscles open to the right and back down. Doing that a couple of times, rotating open on that left shoulder blade. Okay, if you want to add the arm reaching and flowing, following through and under a couple of times. Again, focus on going more slow motion. Imagine that your body is moving through a thicker substance than air, something more like honey or syrup. And you can move in this flowing way if you wanted to land it at some point on the elbow, like so, or down under the shoulder and the head. These transitions moving out of the pose are the ones that can tend to be pretty quick, and we can rely on leverage and momentum to do things for us. So press down, slowly come back to table. Left hand behind the head, chin pulls in to the throat, head into the hand. Use the side waist to turn open and down a couple of times. So your shoulders follow, and you're really rotating open on that right shoulder. So this right shoulder thinks it's in side plank, actually. Okay. If you want to add the arm, still moving slowly so that you're generating your movement from your muscles, again, rather than gravity, which is just really simple. If you wanted to land it, you can land it. You can also keep working the twist, so that's nice. Okay, slowly unwind yourself up. Here we go, coming around to a seated position. Before we come all the way down, we've done such a good job with hip hinges today. Let's see what this seated L shape is like. So coming with the legs out in front, make sure you can move your pelvis. You can rock your pelvis forward and back in a cat-cow. If your pelvis is stuck back like this and you can't move it forward, attempt to free it up by bending the knees, maybe separating the feet a little bit, and do that enough so that you feel like you can move your pelvis. It's rocking over the head of the thigh bone right in here. Okay, so wherever your legs are, and you're at home, so if you have limited range of motion, you don't need to be embarrassed, because it's not like there's a bunch of people around you who are like, I got this. Like, no, you're perfect the way you are, right? So taking the legs, however they need to be, seeing if you can feel both sitting bones down and the pelvis just upright, not forward like this, not backward like this, but just upright. And ribs just right, upright over the pelvis, and head just upright over the ribs. And hands can come towards the ground, but depending on how long your arms are, you might need to bend your elbows or they might not even touch the ground. So that's okay. Mine, I don't really know. Yeah. Okay. Just feeling this, and now feeling all of this weight down into the floor here. We're gonna see if we can slowly, taking the front body in with us, frontal hip bones down with us, if we can slowly roll down. If you start to lose it and go quickly, come back onto your forearms and then slide your hands forward to come all the way down. Okay? And down here on your back, do anything that's gonna feel really nice in terms of kind of last stretches. I'm feeling pretty good. And I just have that body type where a lot of just kind of passive stretching just generally doesn't feel like it's the best thing for my particular body. But for a lot of people, some passive stretching can feel very nice and soothing and relaxing. So you want to take these last minutes of your yoga practice to soothe your nervous system. And if you're ready to just rest for a few minutes, because we'll rest and then we'll do a little bit of silent sitting. So if you're ready to rest, find a restful position. If I had my ottoman around me, quite honestly, I'd just pop my shins up on my ottoman. So you're welcome to do that. And if you're ready to close your eyes, but if you're not ready to close your eyes, don't worry about it at all. Let your eyes be soft in your head. Let the muscles that control your eyes be nice and soft. Relax your inner eye creases, your outer eye creases. That rainbow arch of bone underneath your eyebrow. And then feel the space between your eyebrows soften and expand. It expands upward to the hairline and outward to the ears. Keep your mouth closed if you can, but soften the jaw and the cheeks and the tongue and the throat. Notice what part of the torso you're breathing into. See if you can breathe a little bit lower in your abdomen. Would you need to reposition yourself in order to get that to happen? And if so, maybe do that, because in order to breathe into that lower abdomen, we may need to be positioned in a certain way. And so we'd like to practice that. We'd like to practice having that be our go-to and our standard, so that we're always able to breathe deep in our belly without needing to think about it, because we all know sometimes we can't think about how we're positioning our bodies. And during those times in our lives, we want our bodies to have really strong, stable, healthy movement patterns so that we feel like our body is working for us. And finally, right where you are, see if you can soften the distinction between your skin and everything around your skin, as if your clothes are also a part of your body, and all the little air molecules around your skin are also part of your body. As if you could experience those little air molecules the same way that you experience the sole of your foot, or your knee, or your butt, or your belly. And if you're very comfortable where you are, feel free to stay there. But I will offer us a little silent sitting time. So if you'd like to start moving your body a little bit, start to move it, but keep that everything we've just been practicing, especially that sense of what's outside your body being part of your body. So we're kind of blowing open the concept that we are separate from our environment. And when we don't feel separate from things, we feel calm, we feel at ease, we feel at peace naturally, because we aren't separate from anything. And it's those feelings of separation that create that anxiety or the sense of lack or isolation or loneliness or depression or whatever it is. All of those things that we know are not true, but man, we just can't seem to shake it. So we try to work our way through it and talk our way out of it and coach ourselves through it, when really it's just a matter of perspective shifting. And I don't want to use the word just like it's easy, because it's not. But see if you can just practice it here. Just get a taste of it here. All you need is a taste. You don't even need a taste. All you need is a whiff. Just a smell, like, oh, there's cookies down the hall. So when you're ready to come on up to a seated position, if you're not already there, you can come up. We'll meet here, find a comfortable seat, and position yourself with the same amount of integrity and attention that you do when you're in a yoga pose. See if you can close your eyes. And fill your body with attention, like light filling a room. See if that attention can expand even beyond your body, as if the space around you were also part of your body. See if you can breathe in and out through your nose easily, down in your belly. Our principle of slow before fast is not just true here with movement, it's true in any place in our lives. And I bet if you kind of pull yourself back and you look at the areas of your life that aren't so harmonious right now, there is an element of us kind of pushing too quickly into a situation we don't know enough about. And so this is our invitation to continuously remind ourselves, wait, hold on a second. Maybe I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Maybe I don't have all the information. Maybe I need to go a little bit slower, become a little bit more smarter about what's going on, and then gradually build up the speed. And then yes, build up the speed, because speed is also a wonderful thing. So great job today, my friend. Please make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. I know it's silly, but our goal is 1,000 subscribers. Ollie has this sign of 1,000 subscribers, so he always shows it to me. 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. There's lots of reasons why we need it, but essentially algorithms control how this content gets out there. So if you can subscribe and pass along to anyone in your life who might benefit from some nutritious movement, because honestly, who doesn't, right? This is really part of us living a well-balanced, happy, healthy life for as long as possible. I want my body to work and feel better as I age. I want your body to work and feel better as you age. And if we could get that piece, maybe everything else is messed up in our lives, right? But if we can get that piece going in the right direction, I've experienced this for myself, and I think you'll probably experience it too, but other parts of your life start to go in the right direction as well. So it pays massive dividends, not just in your physical body, but in every dimension of your life. Next week, we'll be back. It's our last, this is part of a series of movement skills. So next week's movement skill is called Stay Within Yes. Very excited for that one too. You'll see the last two classes, what drives me, what stops me. Tonight's class, Slow Before Fast. Next week's class, Stay Within Yes. Kind of all getting around the same principles, but definitely make sure you practice all four of them, because I think in concert with each other, they will help you feel more confident and like you know what's going on. You don't have to rely so much on anyone else or even me. I don't want you to rely on me. I want to create a sense of independence, that you are doing this on your own and you feel this for yourself. So join us back here next week. And if you want to just move closer to us or have these links sent to your email, for example, we do send out weekly letters every Sunday. That's totally free, so you can sign up for those. I have links to everything in the description, so just go down there, all the links, get your feelers out there, because we're out there online doing things, teaching things, connecting with you. And last but definitely not least is we are doing all of this on a donation base. So if you have some extra cash, or this is just really providing a lot of value in your life and you want to support this financially so that we can do more of this and start to build this bigger and bigger, please consider joining us on Patreon. You can donate at any amount of your choosing on a monthly basis. And I also have a link for a one-time donation if you'd rather do that instead. So if you watched all the way through all of these, thank you so much. And I will see you here very soon.